I would love for you to explain to our listeners what is fear mapping because I have a problem with fear. I had trauma that has happened to me, military trauma, and I have a problem with fear. And so you were talking about fear mapping, and I would love you for you, Kamisha, just to let our listeners know what you have found out about fear mapping.
Oh, yeah. So fear mapping, so it's an exercise that helps you to like visualize and then address certain fears, right, about change. So in this one example, it talked about like drawing a circle, right, in the middle of the page. And then you create these branches that come out from the circle. So let's say your circle is about like starting a new business, right? So that's the thing that you are afraid to be doing that you put kind of like in the middle of the circle,
Right. Hmm.
right? But then you have these branches that say like, what if I fail? Or can I afford to do this? Or, I'm too old, right, to do this. But then the next step is for each of those fears, you start like creating columns where you actually do like real life checks, reality checks. Like, what are some of the past successes that you have had, right? Because lots of times when we're fearful, we're just looking at all the negative things that we
Hmm.
have not done,
Hmm.
right? So, for example, if your fear is, am I too old? Well,
Right.
one of your reality checks can be like, I have 20 years of experience in this stuff, right? That's a positive. Like, that's not a negative. And of course, if you have 20 years experience, that means you have lived some life, right? So you're
That's
going
right.
to be older. And
That's right.
then, yeah, you can put down, kind of like what are your past successes? Oh, well, I taught myself how to write code at
Hmm.
50, right? So, and then also if you need, like additional like supports or if there's programs or, things that might help you to feel more comfortable and like confident. But it's really more about like understanding like what this fear is, taking some time to really put some reality around it and
Hmm.
give yourself some honest kind of evaluation of things
Yeah.
that you have been able to do in the past and
Yeah.
then start taking some small steps, as you say, right,
Right.
in that direction. But I
Mm-hmm.
do think that when you are doing this like fear mapping and you write things out, so there was another statistic that talked about, writing things down and writing down fears and how it reduces them by like 40%.
Hmm.
So first of all, you're already reducing them just by writing them down.
Hmm.
And then I think it further reduces if you start looking at things that are actually true versus
Right.
stuff that's made up,
That's hmm.
right? And also looking back at what have you been able to do already? So
Yeah.
many times, like we are so busy, like either thinking about all the terrible things that we missed out on in the
Yeah.
past that we don't remember the successes. Like there was many successes that got you to where you are today. And
Hmm.
so I think that's helpful. And then you just start taking like some small manageable steps,
Yeah.
right? So if you want to start a
One small
business and
step
maybe
at a
you're
time.
concerned you don't have money, maybe you start tracking your expenses, right?
Hmm.
You start saving some money, right? Or maybe you start researching how much it costs to start a business, right? Just like
Hmm.
little steps like that
Yeah.
that will actually help you move through that fear. So
Yeah.
that's what fear mapping is. And again, you use a journal and a paper and a pen, and take some time to write that down and walk through those things.
Hmm. I love that. I
Well, I
love it.
think it really helps. Like for me, it has definitely helped in the past when I've had anxiety about things.
Right. Right.
Yeah, because it just removes some of the things we make up in our mind
Absolutely.
about
Absolutely.
who we are and what's possible for us and
Hmm.
what we've been able to do in the past. And it just
How
makes
we
it
listen
so
to other
clear.
people define who we are. That may not necessarily be true.
Oh yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good point too,
Hmm.
right? Because
Hmm.
it's all about how we define ourselves,
Hmm.
not how other
Hmm.
people have defined us, right?
Absolutely.
And I do think we have so many successes in life. Like the fact that we have gotten to this age and
Mm-hmm.
gotten to this point in our life, we're not abject failures, right?
Right.
Obviously, we're
Right.
not.
We're not invisible, and we're not invisible.
No, 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 no. So we just have to spend some more time loving ourselves and giving ourselves some more credit for
Yeah.
what we are able to do in the
Yeah.
future.